This is Mr. Gurney, and this is our first distance learning video. We'll see how it goes. I want to welcome you back to Learning Economics. You've been given a textbook earlier this week, and we're going to start using it. As you know, you were assigned Chapter 1, and to do the key terms on page 20. I also want to say that obviously the amount of time I spent discussing the coronavirus with you was because of what we're dealing with now. It's impacting not only our social and economic world, but our educational world now as well. So that's why we spent so much time discussing the coronavirus in class the first 5-6 weeks that I've known you. All right, so let's get to work. As you see here, we've got our 10 terms from Chapter 1. Let's start with capital. Capital refers to the buildings, machinery, tools, and equipment. We know that a company like Chicken Joe has frying machines and coffee machines, or a company like Gemelli Pizza has pizza ovens and soda dispensers and refrigerators. Those are all examples of capital. Number 2, entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who goes into business for themselves and assumes all of the risks and rewards associated with that decision. Certainly, our small business project had you interviewing entrepreneurs, whether they be pizzerias, ice cream shops, guitar studios, dentists, doctors, or media companies. Those are all entrepreneurial endeavors. The key with the word entrepreneur is entree, to enter into, with risk. So you're risking money and time to start your own business. Number 3, goods. Goods are things of value that can be seen or touched, such as a car, a pen, or an iPhone. These are things of value that can be seen or touched. Services, on the other hand, are things of value that cannot be seen or touched, such as a haircut, a massage, or a car wash. You can't actually touch the haircut. You can touch the hair, but not the service of the haircut. Number 4, guns or butter. We watched a video about World War II, whereby the government had to make decisions about should we produce more military goods, known as guns, or consumer-based products, such as butter, and we had them on the X and Y axis of the production possibilities curve, labeled PPC. And what we saw in that video is because women entered the workforce and people in general worked longer hours, we actually shifted the whole curve outward. And that's what the PPC shifted when we had more guns and butter, as Richard Gill pointed out, the economic analyst. Next, land. Land is one of the 3 major economic resources, and it is often used with labor and capital. Some people add entrepreneurial ability to that list. So land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial ability are the economic resources used to make goods and services. Obviously, at New Rochelle High School, the land would be all of the acreage that now has a lot of turf fields on it, but has buildings on it, as well as the lakes and those other topographical areas. Number 6 is scarcity, and we know that scarcity is the foundation of all economic thought. Scarcity forces us to make decisions. What is scarcity? Scarcity is the limited resources on earth for our unlimited wants and needs. We have discussed that as high school seniors, scarcity might apply to your lack of time and money. And because of that lack of time and money in your day, you have to make decisions. Decisions about sports, about academics, about getting a job, and of course, your social life. Speaking of decisions, trade-offs are simply choosing one thing over another. If you're Corey Barron and you choose to play football instead of getting an after-school job, that's simply the trade-off. You're choosing to play a sport instead of get a job. If you're Edgar Moreno and you choose to play soccer instead of spending 3 hours a day on your homework, that's a trade-off, choosing one thing over another when making a decision. Opportunity cost is the sacrifice or the effect of that decision. So Edgar would be sacrificing 3 hours of his day where he could be studying in order to play soccer. Corey would be sacrificing the chance to make $10 to $15 an hour at a job in order to play on the New Rochelle football team. So opportunity cost is what you give up when you make a decision. It's important to note that it is what you give up in your mind at the time of the decision. So, for example, if Araceli decides to go to SUNY Binghamton instead of SUNY Albany, it's at the time of the decision she thinks she's going to have to spend more money or be a little further away from her family. That's what the opportunity cost is. If, as things turn out, she doesn't like her courses or the students on campus, that's not opportunity cost. That is just bad luck for her. Next up is underutilization, and that's not utilizing resources effectively. So going back to our PPC graph, if we are here at point A and we should be on the curve at point B or extending the curve to point C, at point A we are underutilizing. And that usually means we're not utilizing our resources such as labor. So we have unemployment in the economy. So that's what underutilization references. And last of all, we have economics. Economics is the study of choice that people and society make. And those choices might involve buying, selling, saving, spending, investing, etc. Economics, let's remember, is studying the choices that we have to make based on scarcity and what we think the trade-offs and opportunity costs will be. And let's not forget our formula. Does the benefit or the marginal benefit of our decision make sense, because is it greater than or equal to the marginal cost? So should I get the cheeseburger deluxe? Well, is it going to be greater than or equal to the marginal cost of eating the cheeseburger deluxe? So those are our first 10 terms from Chapter 1. I hope everyone is being productive and being vigilant and staying away from crowds. And let's all make sure to wash our hands and follow those other guidelines about being hygienically sound and healthy. So signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed our first video distance learning lesson. I miss everyone, and I hope we can get together soon for our great study of economics.